Hi, this is Nitya with Nitya Living. Today we're going to deep dive into something I normally would not do, but, well, there it is. All over the news. The trial, the defamation lawsuit between Amber Heard and Johnny Depp. Now, I often stop myself before making these types of recordings and sharings because in the grand scheme of things, does this really matter? It's two people. It's a marriage. It was sad. It didn't last long, and it was tragic. And they've both suffered for years afterwards in the aftermath. The reason that I am posting this and sharing this is because there is something to be learned through their relationship for all of us. And that is at the crux of it, truly. I have done many couple readings, and I have done date selection, even for my own daughter, in preparation for what is the best day to get married, what is the best day for a celebration. And when two people who, even in their Bazi 4 pillars astrology, aren't a good match to begin with, you add to that their collective childhood journey, childhood traumas, you roll all that together into one big mess when things aren't aligning. Ultimately, you feel in yourself, in your heart, in your stomach, the truth. Why did they choose each other? Why? Maybe it was zingy. Maybe it was really hot and passionate at first. And I think it pretty quickly crashed and burned. I'll tell you why. This is so weird. So I'm looking at this chart of Johnny Depp, who's born on June 9th, 1963. And I think to myself, wow, that is an interesting date. It looks very familiar. My boyfriend is born on the exact same day, different time, as Johnny Depp. And they have so much in common, it's a little weird. And no, my boyfriend is not a famous movie star. But their personality, their character traits are so similar because they are born on a day of a water rabbit and on the day of a water sheep. Now, I'm here to tell you, if you want to go to the library of humans and pick out the most laid back, passive, effeminate, nurturing, loving, and kind human. You want that? Check out a rabbit sheep. That combination of person is creative, artistic, musical. They're peacemakers. They're negotiators. Their goal in life is for everybody to get along, have a good time at the party. Now, you add to this the fact that Johnny Depp was all but tortured physically, psychologically, traumatized horrifically by his mother growing up, and that his father sat by passively. In his chart, his mother shows up as a patriarchal authority figure. And within the seed of that is critical, demanding, hard, no love coming there. And the potential for it to be damaging. His father is represented in his chart as somebody who is there to just simply keep the lights on and make sure that everyone is more or less cared for. Taking care of the responsibilities, running, having a job, having the family, having the home. There's no measure of love. In fact, as Johnny is a water person, he has a balanced amount of water, about 23%. And in the pie chart of your 5 elements that we all are born with in our Chinese astrology, we want equality always, always. Just like in nature, we want and seek balance. So we want to have right around 20 to 25% of each element. He's missing metal. He has no metal, and metal is what nourishes and feeds and strengthens water. He has nothing. There is nothing supporting him. He has no support. And so out there on his own, he has a balanced amount of wood. That's what he creates. He has strong fire. That's what he controls. And it is strong. And even stronger than that is earth energy, which is his career, where he holds a sense of self-discipline, right? All right, so that's his personality. Then you come to Amber Heard. Okay, so you've got the image here of this passive, happy little sheep. Because remember, the day is everything that you are. So, that being said, you got Johnny Depp, this peaceful little, I almost want to say banjo plucking because he's from Kentucky, but, So he's playing his happy music. He's sitting there in his Johnny Depp looking self to the beat of his own happy drum. And along comes this beautiful woman, so much younger than he is, born on Earth Day, April 22nd, 1986. Sadly, there is no birth time. I've looked everywhere. If you happen to see it, put it in the comments. I'll look into that. So anyway, Amber's born on the day of the monkey, a yang fire monkey. And you remember, Johnny is yin, water. In fact, most of his chart is yin. And most of her chart is yang. Well, everybody knows yin is feminine, yang is masculine. And often in couples, I will see this. And it's not surprising to see the woman in the position of power. This is what's happening in my relationship with my man, who's got Johnny Depp's chart mostly. So, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with having a strong woman who is more assertive and a man who is more passive. They balance each other out. And again, we're always looking for balance, but this is a piece of work. So she's got the yang fire tiger year and a yang fire monkey day. Now you remember, our cool, chilled out dude, Mr. Depp, is yin water rabbit and yin water sheep. So it's really interesting that both of those elements stay the same. That's kind of an interesting thing there. And that yang fire, woo, she is, of course she's going to be beautiful. She's going to light up a room, right? And she had a toxic relationship with her father. Okay? So whether we like it or not, often when we go into relationships, what we are imprinted with is from our childhood relationships to seek that which we had. So it is all not surprising that we marry our fathers, we marry our mothers, until you learn not to. Until you learn to break patterns, break the cycle of trauma. So, that being said, you've got two people who both come from a situation For her, the father's abusive. Him, the mother's abusive. What kind of such a setup do you think is going to happen here? If she is with him, she's got a father figure. Look at their age difference is huge, right? On top of that, so she's got, here he is already a father-like figure just in the sheer fact that he's older than her, but he's not operating at all like her father. So what does she have to do? Create the situation. And it's so sad because you create the situation that is the most toxic, the most destructive. Now, I've watched some of the trial. I would have been saying this even if I hadn't watched any of it. I would be saying this if I had never seen them in a movie. It's all in their charts. It's fascinating. So, when we look at Johnny's day, again, that's everything that you are is the day you were born. He's a yin water sheep. And the sheep is yin earth with a little fire and a little wood. And earth does what to water? It controls it and it absorbs it. And he's already weak. So a romantic relationship for him is going to be draining, challenging, potentially harmful. Every single relationship. Inside the seed of this challenge, there is a little extra money. There's infidelity. There's rumors she cheated on him. There's some joy and creativity, a spark of inspiration. There's love, but it's a mess. And as you see this in your chart, you think to yourself, how could somebody break that? How do you break that? I don't have an answer because it's in his chart. And so what I would look for is for a personality that is more supportive for him. And that could have potentially been Amber, because she is born on a day of a monkey, which is yang metal. Her personality as a tiger and a monkey is really in a lot of ways very different from his. Tigers are very independent. They go to the beat of their own unique drum, and they are kind of volatile. Definitely volatile. We're in a tiger year. We have seen volatility, right? Fluctuations, going, stopping, here, there, ba, 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 boo. In all of that, again, we come back to the day. So you have that over. The year is really kind of a umbrella. So you have this volatility, this very independent person who's born on the day of a monkey. And monkeys are tricksters. They like to play games. They like to do many different things. Lots of projects, like working on a movie while writing a book and making a masterpiece of art. I don't know. They like to solve puzzles, problems, good problem solvers. And they get bored easily. When you look at her situation, it's just like Johnny's, where you have water and earth in his day, a controlling situation. You have the same with hers. The difference is she's the one in control, and that has to happen for her. She has to be in control. She does not subordinate to anybody, and nobody tells her what to do. I bet she's a piece of work to work for, too. But I'm sure she's fun. I'm sure she's got a lot of fun in her. So within the monkey, we see that her partner, there it is, she's gaining money from the situation. There's infidelity. Again, this comes up. And there's love. But there's also a little bit of aggression, a little bit of controlling situation, harm to her on a much lesser level than with Johnny. And again, that little seed of joy, of coming together to do work projects or something fun, interactive together. But it is so interesting to me that what they seek in a relationship is pretty much the same. Now, it could be better. Like the way that they went at it could have been better. But it is so volatile. And with him being so passive and her being so much more assertive, you then realize that the overarching story here isn't just the forecast within their chart of what their partner's going to be. It's the way these two came together and recreated their childhood traumas. And she's sitting there as a victim, but what she's a victim of is recreating her own childhood trauma. And what he's a victim of is allowing another woman to potentially try to destroy him, to threaten his life, his livelihood. And in that, it's a sad situation. Now, if we go deeper, okay, so if we take this down to, this would have been my biggest red flag. If he had come to me and said, I want to look at my chart, his luck cycle, everybody goes through these 10-year luck cycles determined by your birthday and time. And what you find is this. From 2014 until 2024, he is in the luck cycle of a yang water rat. He is in a time of deep self-evaluation. He's looking at partnerships. He's looking at collaborations. He's looking at who are his allies. He's looking at the shadow of himself. I believe that in this period, he has gone clean from alcohol and drugs, which is amazing, fabulous, good for him. So this is really that big time for him of looking at himself. The year they married was 2016, which was sorry, hold on a sec. 2016 was a yang metal tiger. I believe that's right. They were married in February, so I'm not exactly sure if they were in the month of, in the year 2016 yet or not. But his luck cycle, Johnny's luck cycle of the rat, combines with his rabbit to create a punishment. This punishment is the biggest red flag for him. From 2014 to 2024, he is more likely to get involved in relationships that are really weird. A trip down a rabbit hole. And sometimes this happens, where you have a friend or a lover who is really takes you, it looks like one thing on the outside, but once you're in it, you're like, whoa. Like they do a mind trip on you. And it's damaging. In some way, there is damage. And this is all until 2024. And I would imagine that when he shifts out of this luck cycle, everything going on with Amber will be over. He will be ready to move on. And hopefully by then, he will be able to move into a healthier relationship. Where she is right now, 2011 was the luck cycle she was in at the time they got married. And it was all about rebellion. It was a sharply, smart as a whip, intuitive time for her to carve a new path. And this was her coming into being an actress. This is her really finding her voice. Just huge change going on in her life. Marriage was mentioned. And in this time, she got married. There was moving, there was money, there's responsibilities, all kinds of cool stuff going on. So you've got somebody going through a massive transformation in their life, coupled with somebody who's in a very self-reflective period. One feels more internal, the other is more external. And all of these opposites with these two, fire and water, I'm sure that passionately they were hot in bed, but they were just as hot when the bottles were flying and things were getting ugly, all the arguing. And so I leave it here. In this year of the tiger that is volatile, the month of May is the month of the snake. And the snake combined with her monkey and the tiger, yin, se, shen. Those three create a different punishment. This punishment has to do with lawsuits. It has to do with harm, like injury, loss of money. And that punishment is hitting her in the month of May, next week, from the time I'm filming this. So when we look at all of this, my bet is that Johnny's going to win this lawsuit. In the end, they both have lost a lot of time, a lot of energy. And what I hope is that they have learned a great deal about themselves and about relationship. And all of this being said, I welcome doing your chart and the chart of your partner, because sometimes I can look and see exactly what that little is, that thing that you guys trip over all the time, the thing that threatens to possibly ruin a relationship. When you have somebody that's able as a third person to identify that, then you have the opportunity for dialogue and to saying, oh, well, when this happens, these are steps we could take or whatever. So I welcome that. If you have a major event coming up, if you're thinking of proposing, if you want to get married, if you're thinking of going on a honeymoon and you want to know where to go, and point you in all those right directions. But for now, I say be well, and I will see you soon. Thank you.